All right, welcome to the final video of the Huntsman tutorial series. In this video, we'll be talking about the final assembly of the GP2040 version of the Huntsman controller. So whatever we've been working on the last few videos, we'll be working on it right now too. So we're going to be putting all those things together. So get those ready. Put it on your desk and put it close by to your desk, and get your tools ready. We're going to be needing a screwdriver. And then we're going to be needing your soldering iron, so get that hot and ready. We're going to be needing wire strippers, crimpers, pliers, wire cutters, and all that. So get those tools ready and we'll proceed. So yeah, you might notice I have two sets of panels here. One is the one that's using the PCB for the buttons panels for right here. So the other one is just a raw one where it's just using the mechanical keys, and on the back side you can see the hot swap Kahil sockets, and that is because for the first part of this video I will be teaching you how to wire these guys up without using the PCB. So if you're using the PCB, feel free to skip this part, and with that, let's proceed with how you're gonna wire this part. Okay, so for those who chose not to use a PCB for your face buttons, this is what you're gonna want to do. So you're gonna want to cut a couple lengths of black wire, which we're gonna be using as our ground wire. So you only need about 2 inch or so, and you're gonna be cutting about 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of this one, and then another 5. 1, 2, 3. Another 5 here. So about 10 pieces of these 2-inch wires, and then a longer one, which is going to be, I wouldn't say like the exact measurement, but it's going to be coming in from this side right here up to this corner of the panel. So put your panels side by side just to get that measurement proper. So just going to do that, and then the other long piece of black wire that you're going to be doing is from here, because this is where the chain is going to end for this side. So you're just going to put it here and onto this, and then onto this corner right here, and then cut it there. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you next what the connections will be for those buttons, and it's going to look like here. So for those buttons, it's going to start, the chain will start for this side right here. It's gonna start on this one right here, so it's gonna be this guy. So it's gonna start, the chain's gonna start here, and then it's gonna chain towards this guy, and then this one, and then this one, and then here, and then here. And then on this last chain right here, you're going to be connecting the ones that's going to be coming in from here to this corner. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, and it's going to be connected there, whatever that length is ended up being. So yeah, and then for the other side, it's going to be starting on this one right here. So it's going to be here, there. So you're going to be connecting, you're going to be soldering your wire on here, and then daisy chaining it to here, and here, and here, and onto here, and onto here. And just like the last one right here, the last chain right here will be coming out from here, and then going out to this side, and then to this corner right here again. So whatever that lengths ended up being, that's what you're gonna have to grab for that part. And then for the connection wires, so the signal wires, what's it called again? Whatever. It's the red wire that we're going to be using for each of those connections. We're going to be doing a so the way it's going to be measured the same way as we measured the last ground wire that's coming out. Okay, so the way that's going to be is for each of these buttons on the back, it's going to be the length of the connection will be, of the wire will be from here up to this corner again. So right here should give you plenty of length right there. So that, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then just cut until you have all the wires for the 12 buttons. So, okay, until you end up with something that looks like this. So this one is just like neatly zip tied already together, but pretty much this is what you're going to be ending up with. And this guy right here, so this is just loose one, so it doesn't really line up that much, but yeah, this is pretty much what you're going to be ending up with. And then yeah, okay, yeah, as you can see, there's no DuPont connectors on this ends just yet, but there should be some for yours if you're doing the GP2040 version of this controller. So set that up. I'll only show you how to start the chain, but I'm not going to show you the whole process. So yeah, I'm going to start on that one here. All right, to start the chain, as you can see here, I have this panel right here ready, and then I have my soldering iron ready as well. So let me just let that heat up, and I have 5 lengths of wire here, which is the short one, and then the last length will be the longer one, which is going to be coming into the last part right here. So to start it, we're just going to be twisting these wires together and also putting some solder on them just so we make them stronger. Okay, so we're just going to take those lengths, and then we're going to be making a daisy chain of them. Okay, so there. Actually, let me. And we're going to be joining these wires together into a chain. Okay, so here's the first 2 wires. Twist those fibers up a little bit. Okay. Grab your soldering iron and your solder, and just put a little bit of solder onto these connection wires here. Can you see that? Right there. Okay. So, yeah, we're just gonna do that. A bit of solder, and then we're going to move on to the next chain. Using this other side, and then put it on the next chain. Okay. One. So it doesn't need to be a lot of solder, it just needs to be enough to hold the 2 wires together. Okay. And put the little, now for the last piece of the short length. And now for the longest part, so the final piece of the chain is going to be connected to the longest wire, I mean. Should end up with something that looks like that. Right. This away, should be done for now. As you can see here, that's your little daisy chain of wires that you're gonna be using. Okay. And on this next part, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, just because I already have something set up, but I'm going to show you how to start putting it on. So on this one, you're going to be putting on solder on each and every one of these spots right here, okay? So you're going to be putting on solder on these guys, okay? So just a drop of solder, just enough for it to hold a wire in once you remelt it, because what we're going to be doing is whatever that solder you're going to be that you put on into here, you're going to remelt that, and then you're going to put on the wire in next. Like you're going to put on the wire, insert the wire there, and then let it harden again, and then that should hold it in place, okay? And this is how it goes, okay? Maybe a little hard to see since it's far. Actually, it might be useful if I go closer like that. I think that's better. Okay, so let me just get my soldering iron here, and then we're gonna start on this guy, okay? So we're gonna be putting on the solder. I'm just gonna be putting on the solders on these guys right here, these first two pieces, these first two connections, okay? So just a little bit. Drop it in there, okay? And you're gonna want to put these on these as well, like on the other sides, but that will be for the red wire, so I'll let you figure that one out. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you how to start the daisy chain, just because that's the bit of a harder part. So as you can see there, some solder already on those two pieces right there, okay? And we're gonna grab the start of the chain right here, okay? So you're gonna remelt that solder and then pretty much just put it in, okay? You're gonna remelt that solder and then just slide this into the molten solder, okay? So do it like this. If it makes it easier, you can also use some tweezers to hold your wires in. This one, I'm fine with this one. So melt your solder and put on the connection. Okay. Oh, shoot. It's a little too long actually. Let me just cut it just a little bit shorter. Actually, let me add just a little bit more solder. Doesn't look like I put enough. Okay, that should be enough. And then let me put this thing on. So remelt that solder and then slide your wire in. Very swift. Okay, and let it harden. Wait for a little bit, give it a little tug, make sure it's in there, and that would seem like it's good. So the problem on that one is I used a little too much length that was left on the tip, so I would recommend just snipping it shorter. So I only made it just a little bit longer so that I can like make it what do you call that? Make the twist a little easier for my fingers there. So for the next one, since there's already like a little bit of solder there, we're just gonna do the same thing. And just like I mentioned before, tweezers make your life easier. Definitely use it. Okay, so on here, we're using some tweezers and grab that, and then melt that solder, and then put my connection in. Okay, so right there. Okay, melt that, and then put my connection in. Okay. So, as you can see there, a little bit of a tug too, but yeah, it's in there, so that's not gonna go anywhere. So, as you can see, the start of the chain is right there, up there. next one, and then you're just going to do the same with the rest. Okay, so you already have your chain set up, so you're just going to be doing the same thing for the rest of these guys, and then just connecting it and making a chain into here, into whatever, and then until you end up with a full chain that goes all around. Okay, so let's adjust this camera again. Don't worry about that. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to be showing you what you're going to be getting for the final look of this chain right here, with all the rest of the red wires also installed. So yeah. Okay. Actually, before I show you the final result, I'm going to be showing you what's going to happen on this side right here for the connection of the signal wires, the red wires that we're going to be putting on. It's just going to be one red wire for each of these sides right here. So red wire here going there, red wire, and here, going there. And as you can see, they're just kind of concentrating into one point, and here, going here. So it just goes, as I mentioned earlier, the measurement will be from where the button is up to this corner right here. So just cut those wires, get those wires ready, and yeah. And then for the other side, it's just gonna go like this, and then going here, just so they're gonna be ending up in the same bunch of wires. And then here, so one wire per button as well. This one cannot be daisy chained, so do not daisy chain this. So, and then here, like here, and then for this guy, it's gonna be this one. And then this one is going to be for this one. Okay, it's a bit of a messy drawing that I'm showing you here, but I think you get the idea. So yeah, so we're going to be ending up with this one right here. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a time skip, and I'm going to be showing you connected as it is seated into these portions right here. Okay, so this is what you're going to want to end up having. I don't recommend putting a zip tie on it already. I just have zip ties on this just because I want it to be neat. So, and as you can see, each and every single wire, each and every single one button has a red wire attached to it, has its own red wire, and then the ground wires are just daisy chained into each other. Okay, and then the lengths kind of just goes into this corner right here, as you can see there. And then you might notice these are still like pretty naked ends on there. So the red ones are the only ones that you're going to be putting DuPont connectors on. So it's going to be, let's see here. It's going to be these kind of ends right here. Focus. Okay. So it's going to be these ends right here that you're going to want to do for the red wires. Only the red wires. Do not put anything on the black wires just yet, just because we're going to be putting those wires together as well. So we're going to be merging them into a single wire. So for your red wires, just make sure to put on these ends too. Okay. And for the other side, same thing. As you can see here, daisy chained on the black wires, and then each button has a red wire attached to it. So same thing, do not put any DuPont connectors on the black one. You're only going to want to put DuPont connectors on the red one. And with that should be ready for the rest of the tutorial here. This is where we're going to be next part of the video is going to be for the guys who had PCBs. Okay, all right, so for this part, it's if you chose to use the PCBs that I made, this will be the setup that you're going to be doing for the buttons, for the PCBs right there. The first set of buttons that you're going to, first set of wires that you're going to be using is right here. As you can see, JST-XH on this end, and then a bunch of DuPont connectors on the other end. So you're going to be doing, so the black wire is going to be our ground wire, and then the red wire is going to be our signal wires. Okay, so as you can see, the orientation of the button here, right there. Okay, you can see the orientation of the JST connector right there. So black wire on the bottom, and then the rest of the wires will be red. So this will be used on here. Okay, so for this setup, it's gonna be 6.5 inches of this one. Okay, and then for the next one, it's gonna be this one. So another one with 2 red wires, DuPont connector, 2-pin. It's gonna be for this one. It's gonna be 6.5 inches as well. So set that up, and then for this side, you'll have this guy right here. It's the same as the first one that we set up. So DuPont connector, starting from the bottom, it's black, and then the rest will be red. Okay, and DuPont connector on each end. But it's very important that you keep the black wire without any DuPont connectors just yet, just because we're going to be connecting those black ground wires together into one single connection. Okay, so this one is 12 inches for this one, and so it's going to be going into here. Okay, and then we have another length of 2-pin JST connector here. So just 2 red wires, and then on the ends are DuPont connectors, and it's going to be coming into here. Okay, so we're just going to connect those in. So we're just going to take this side out, one with the shiny bits there. It's facing up, and you just connect it down here. Push it in, and then that's it. Okay, and then do the rest for the connections. Okay, and the other side. And it's that easy. So just to recap, for these set of wires is going to be 6.5 inch of wires for this side, and then 12-inch set of wires for this side. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the next set of wires that we're going to be using. Oh, also one more note that I really want to really want you to remember: do not put any DuPont connectors on the black wire. Let it be free for now. Okay, same on this side. Do not put any DuPont connectors on the black wire. Okay, all right, so for the next set of wires that you're going to be using, this is what the connection is going to be used for the joysticks right here. So the setup on that one is going to be 5-pin JST on this side. Let me fix the focus. 5-pin JST on this side, and then DuPont connectors on the other end. So that one is going to be set up like so. So as you can see here, we have shiny bits on top, and starting from the bottom, there's 2 black wires, and then the rest will be red wires. Okay, so same thing as before as well. Only put DuPont connectors on the red wires, and then let these black wires just free for now. Okay, and this one will be a 7-inch wire for the left stick. 7-inch wire for the left. This is one is going to be used for the left stick, and then another one will be used for the right stick. Same setup. This one is going to be 9.5 inches. Okay, so just to summarize again, we have a 7-inch setup for this one for the left stick, and for the right stick it's a 9.5 inch. Okay, all right, so yeah, make those cable harnesses, and then we'll set these aside for now. Okay, so, and then the next one, before you set this aside, you're gonna want to take your joiners for the top plates, for the top 2 halves, and then just stick them into these portions here, just so that they're together and they're easy to move around. And also we're going to be needing these 2 halves to be together further down the line. So just do this. You don't need to glue it down or anything. Just get them together and then set them aside. And now next that we're going to be working on is the menu panel right here. So we're going to be putting on the buttons here. So oh shit, grab your 12mm buttons right there, and we're going to be putting them on here. Okay, let's just do that. Oh, and also you're going to need your pliers. These guys will help. Okay, so let's just set that. And as you can see here, I'm putting it on at a bit of an angle here. No, it's not straight, just because to give the wires a little bit more space, just because they are going to be going this direction. Okay, so just give it a bit of an angle. Nothing too specific, but that should help. This spot is always one of the harder ones to put onto. Got the caps. Okay, it's tight. That's good. Now we're going to be setting up the wires for it. So, okay. And for that, we're going to be needing a couple lengths of wire. So grab your wires and then grab the top panels again, the top two halves, and just position them like so. We're going to use this as a some sort of like measuring estimator. So you're going to need 4 red wires, because this one is going to be our signal wire, and this one for the black one is going to be our gauge, our what do you call that, ground wires. So we're going to be needing this, but first we're going to be measuring for our signal wire. So to get that measurement, you're going to go put your wire on this corner right here on the pairing, and you want it to go all the way down here. You don't need to be exact, just because we're going to be cutting this down still later. I'm just doing this so that we have plenty of like excess. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to take that length, and we're going to need 4 of that. So I'm going to fold it here this way. It's 2, and it's 3, and 1 more. That's 4. That should give us plenty of length to work with later once we're putting them on. So cut them all individually now, just like what I'm doing now. You should end up with 4 equal lengths. Okay, so we're gonna put that here for now, and then next we're gonna be measuring out the ground wire. So same thing, just put them on like that. So same length. Got it. We're only gonna need 1 for this one, so that just 1, and then we're gonna be needing a couple more lengths of black wire, which is just 3 pieces of 2 inches. So I'm just gonna measure this out. Doesn't need to be exact, like I said. I can just estimate it. About this much length is what I'm gonna need, because this one is gonna be used for daisy chaining for the ground wires for each button. Okay, so we're going to be using that. This much length, 4 of that. Okay, cut. Okay, and that's it. 4 nice 2-inch wires. Okay. And we can set this aside now again. And we're just gonna work on these. We can also set this one aside now. Now we're just gonna be working on attaching these guys together on a full chain. So we're gonna be stripping the ends on this and then twisting them together into a chain. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my paper. Oh, and also while you're doing this, make sure your soldering iron is hot. That ready. We'll be soldering these wires together. Okay. And then for the last length, you take that, strip it. Okay, so we're gonna take these 4 wires though, they're all like stripped for the tips. I'm gonna start with, let's see, start with this one. Okay. I'm just gonna get my helping hands here. And I'm just gonna start that daisy chain of wires. We'll use this one as the start. Just a little bit, just enough to hold them all together. Okay. First link, go on with the next one. And then just keep going until you have all the short wires together. Now that you have all the short wires together, we can put together the put it together with the bigger one now. So the longer one. Okay. That's all together. You should end up with something that looks like this. Hey, editing Banjo here. I just want to put a note that in those links right there, I put a little too many links on there, so it's supposed to just be 1, 2, 3, and then a long piece. Right there I have 4, so just keep in mind just 3 links and 1 long piece, okay? We're gonna correct that later down the line on the video, because I am gonna notice it later, so yeah. Let's get back to it. Alright. Now, we're done with the soldering for now. We'll have this set aside and we'll move on. So now that this is set up, we can go ahead and put on the necessary DuPont connectors for the red wires now. So this one for the ground wires on here, this one will still be gonna be left empty for now, just because we're gonna be cutting this to length later down the line. So we're gonna let that off for now. I'm gonna put the DuPont connectors on this one last. Okay. So we're using our crimping tool on this one. Alright, now that that's set up for the red wires right here, we have our pump connectors on the ends. We're gonna grab our top two plates again and the menu panel, just so that we can measure this one out. This piece out. Okay. Wait, actually, no. We're gonna set this one aside. That's wrong. We're gonna put on these wires into the menu panel first, okay? And then we're gonna measure after. For now, just get your screwdriver and open those screw-on terminals. And then we're gonna be putting on the wires into them. Slip it in and tighten it down. Give it a little tug, make sure it's not coming out. Okay. And the next one, just keep doing this until you have every single one of them connected. Ooh, that looks like I made too much of them. I made 4 lengths instead of just 3, actually. That's wrong. My bad. Hopefully you didn't make 4. My bad. We're just gonna need 3. So we'll be cutting this off right here on the very end. This extra one we don't need. Okay. Sure. Now that's set up, should end up with something that looks like this. Okay. And now that the menu panel's ground wires are connected, we can grab finally 2 halves of the top panels again, right here. Okay. Just put that right there. Okay. So that we can measure out the length of the cable that we're gonna need. So, okay. So we need to be all that's neat. We're just gonna get one of this length right here, and we're just gonna run it like so, just so we can estimate how much we're gonna need for this part, which is about this much. So basically, it's just running here onto the bunch of wires there, and onto here. Okay, so we're just gonna cut here. We're gonna strip that in. Okay, and then we're gonna put the DuPont connector on that. And that's pretty much what we're gonna do with the rest of the red wires as well. So, okay. Sorry. Nice and strong. All right. So for this one, for the red wires, I would recommend you grab a piece of zip tie right here, and we're gonna be putting the DuPont connectors all at the same level. Kind of just them all straight, arrange them on a straight pattern, and then just zip tie them together. So it's neat. We're gonna use this so that we can get like consistent lengths of wires once we connect it to the buttons. Just do that. See, all level. And now that they're all together, we can start cutting the lengths of wires that we're gonna need. Okay, so. Position this. You need to be you don't need to be all too careful on which one the wire to use. You just need to just pick one and then use it. Okay. Put here. So now it's just not really anything specific for the length of the wire. It's just eyeballing it now. Strip that in and then putting it into the menu panel now, and then just do the rest. So now that you have the first one measured, you can just take away the these two panels now, and we're just gonna follow the first wire that we used for the rest of the buttons, or for the rest of the red wires. Oh, from the housing for this one. Put the housing on the ground wire here. To the red wires. So this one, just give it a tug. So as you can see, I'm tugging it this way instead of like downwards, just so I can get the best measurement for it. Not that much. that's why you have to always test the connection, make sure that it's in there. So just give it a tug. If it goes off, if it pops off, then that means you just didn't make it properly. And that's pretty much what I'm doing every time I finish one of these connections, is I'm giving it a tug. Make sure that it's tight, okay? That's good. Okay, now we can remove this zip tie again. So cut it off and make sure not to cut off the wires. And then that's it. That's it for the menu panel. You should end up with something that looks like this. Okay? And as you can see, DuPont connectors on all of them. Unlike the other ones that we did for the buttons, PCBs, and the buttons connection, we put the DuPont connectors on the rest of them. Okay? Cool. So next that we're going to be moving on with is we're going to grab the base and we're going to be putting on the joysticks. Okay? Okay, so put this stuff out of the way for now and grab the assembled base of the Huntsman right here and the joysticks. And then we're gonna get some. We're gonna get your M2 wires to install them into here. Okay. Oh, and also you're also gonna need these wires right here for the joysticks. So we're just gonna attach this onto the joysticks JST connectors later once it's installed. So put that on the side. And then we're just going to take our screwdriver and putting them down into the panels. Okay. The magnet on this thing is pretty weak, so maybe I will just use my tweezers to hold them in place. Alright, so now that that's on, let me see, give you a little bit of a zoom in on this one. So all four slots, or all four screws are in for each joystick, and make sure that they are all pointing that way for the JST connectors. I mean, you can't really put them on the wrong way, so you can only put it on the proper way. So there's slots built into it so that you're not able to put it on the incorrect orientation, so this should be good. And then you're gonna get your JST connectors right here. So for the longer one, the 7-inch one, you're gonna be using it on the oh wait, the 9-inch, 9.5-inch one. So this is a 9.5-inch one, the longer one. I'm gonna be putting this on the right stick. So just gonna slip this in here. Okay, that's good. And then for the other one, just gonna slip it in like so. For the that will be for the left stick for this one. Okay. All right. Now, before we set this aside, we're gonna be doing some ground wire joining and some because we're gonna be splicing these wires together. So the black wires we're gonna be splicing together. Okay. So listen carefully on this part because this one is quite important. So as you can see here, the first the first two wires on here is a 3-volt and the ground wire. Okay, so we're going to be joining the 3-volt wires together on both sticks and the ground wires together. Okay, so we're going to be putting those two together. Okay. And with that said, let's get started with how you're going to be doing that. So this one, we're going to be grabbing our red wires and just kind of just bunching them all together, and then just kind of getting them into this position right here, just so that it's out of the way. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with our black wires, except for this time we're going to be cutting them to a certain point. So we're going to be using this this part of the base. See this last circle right here? I don't know if you can see it on the light. And we're just gonna put it on there, against there, and then we're gonna hold it with our finger, and then we're just gonna cut it right about on that line. Okay, so we're just gonna cut it there, and then we're gonna strip the ends, and we're gonna get it ready for splicing them all together into one single wire. So whatever wires you cut, save that. We're going to be using that for later. Okay, so first we're going to be joining the 3-volt wires. So grab these two wires right here, right there. Okay, and strip those ends generously, and we're going to be splicing them together into a single one. Okay. Okay. Oh, and also, get your heat shrink ready. And your lighter as well for the heat shrink. Actually, I need to grab that, so hold on. Okay, so got the lighter right here. So we're gonna use that for the heat shrink wrap later. So let's go back to our 3-volt wires right here. Okay, so we're just gonna join those two, or oh, hold on. We're also gonna grab one of the wires that we cut earlier, and we're just gonna do this. Good length right there. Okay. So we're going to strip one of those wires, right? And then we're going to join it. Let's place it with this one. So get your soldering iron hot and ready. And then we're going to twist them all together. Okay? I'm just going to use my crimping tool to just kind of elevate it just a little bit. Put it against there. Okay. And then we're going to put some solder onto that that connection right there. Okay. Okay. So, doing that, you have now joined the first two connections that you need to be spliced in. So, that's for the 3-volt connection right there. Okay. Alright. So, we're just gonna put on the heat shrink now, and then we're gonna put on the DuPont connector for this end right here. So, right here. Okay. This heat shrink. Alright. Okay. It's good. Oh, before I put on the DuPont connectors, actually, let me splice these wires as well. These ground wires now. So you see, I'm just gonna zoom in here. As you can see, I'm tugging on the ground wires now. Oh, right there. Those 2 wires, those are gonna be the ones that we're gonna be cutting to size now, or to length. And just like the first one, we're gonna grab those 2 wires, and we're just gonna strip it and join them together. Just like what we did with the 3-volt wires, we're going to do the same with the ground wires. Okay, so I'm going to use my crimping tool again just to elevate it a little bit so I can put on some solder on it. Okay. My iron and my solder, and just put it on there. And just let the wire braid kind of just absorb it. Magic of capillary action. Okay, so that's together now. Give it a tug, make sure it's strong, and put on the shrink wrap on it. Okay. Alright, so now that that's all set, we're ready to put on the DuPont connectors for each of these 2 wires right here. The 2 ends. Just gonna strip that a little bit, and we're gonna put on the connection. And then we'll be done with this one for now. We can go back to the first 2 panels. Okay. that's on, and we're gonna put on the housing. Alright, so now that that's set up, you can just kind of check it out again, and this is what you should end up having with the rest of the wires for this part of the base. Okay, we're going to be getting this one set, or we're going to be setting this one aside for now again, and then we're going to proceed with the fixing up the wiring on the first two top panels, and yeah. Oh, I will still have the base here. It's actually a good opportunity for us to also put on the USB pass-through. So we're using this one or the USB. So grab that and then grab your USB cable as well. So we're going to be putting the double-sided tape onto the back of the USB C to USB A adapter right here. So cut your cut your double-sided tape and just stick it on the bottom here, like so. Okay. Okay. That's ready. You can just position it. So just grab something flat that you can put against the base here. So here I have like a steel sheet. You just put it on against there, and then push the USB dongle against it. Make sure that the USB C side is the one that is facing outwards. So just place it and push it against that flat surface that you have, and then bring it down like so. And that should hold it in place. Okay. And then this one, we're just gonna get this one ready. Or well, we're gonna get this one ready on here for now. We're not gonna put it on just yet. A little bit later, it should be easy to do that down the line. Okay. So now we're gonna set this one aside, and we're gonna grab the top panels. All right. So we have the top panels here now. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be putting on the keycaps for each and every one of the buttons that we have. So we're just going to be releasing these guys over here, and we're going to flip this over so that we can work on the top side now, and we can put on the keycaps for the buttons. So make sure the wires are not getting pressed down by anything. Okay. So okay, it's nice and flat. So this side we're going to be putting on the ones with notches right there. So we're going to be putting on here. That will be our shoulder buttons for the L1 and L2 buttons. We're just going to do that, push it in. Okay, that's in. Here I'm just making sure that there's no any spare burrs or plastics on there. Started. Okay. Test it out, make sure it's smooth. And it looks like it is. And then we're going to grab another two pieces for the other side over here. So these are the ones with the notches right there, with the markings. Or bumps, I guess is the better term for it. Okay. Push it in. It's a little tough, but it'll go in. Okay. And the next one here. Actually, let me make sure it's clean. Okay. all the way in, and okay, that's that. So next we're gonna grab our directional arrows. Okay, so here. Kind of hard to see on the cameras because it's so white. So I'm just gonna put it on my hands here, like so. As you can see there's the arrow keys, or the arrow symbols. Unless if you pick the blank ones, then you won't have this. You just put whatever, wherever you want it to be if it's just the blank ones. Okay. Put down. We're gonna put it on left for this one. So make sure you're orienting your keys the correct way as well. So. Okay. Fix these wires and get out of the way. Alright. Up arrow key. And the right arrow key. Sounds good. Nothing is catching or anything. That's good. So if you feel any roughness when you're pushing down on the buttons, just pop them out, and then make sure the keycap is clean and no debris or anything are going to be going onto the switches. So next up we're going to be picking up is the face buttons. This one. So we got triangle here. Square. Circle. And cross. There. Okay, so we're going to do cross first. And square. Let's see. Okay, that's good. And triangle. Test, make sure it's all smooth, and it looks like it is. So we can flip this over back again, and we can go work with it again on the wiring side of things. Okay. All right. Now it's just going to be raised just a little bit, but that's where these comes in, so it's easier to work with. So we're going to be putting these things on again. Make sure the arrow is facing you and facing down. Okay. Same thing here. Watch the arrow right there. Okay. Right. And now we're also going to be putting on these joiners for the menu panel. Okay. So I grab that, and we're just going to put it on together with this. Okay. This one, that's the one. Okay, and the other side, like so. Make sure the wires are out of the way when you put it on, and that should be it. So, okay, great. All right, now that we have the panels together, we can now work on joining the ground wires for the buttons here. So if you are using the PCB or you're using no PCB, this will be applicable for you, where you're going to be joining the ground wire for this PCB and splicing it together with this ground wire, the other PCB. So what you're going to do is just you're going to make it reach over like so, and you're going to grab the other one, make sure it's pathing correctly. It's going through here, like so, and kind of just crossing over, so those two, and just cut it maybe about here, about on this area right here. Okay, just grab that, cut it, and then whatever we cut, we're just going to reuse it again. Maybe this one, or I can just cut a new as well. But yeah, we're going to strip this length generously, just like what we did with the buttons and the not the buttons, the joysticks. Strip it by a generous amount, just those fibers together, and same thing with this one. Maybe strip it just a little bit more. Okay, alright. Now, that's plenty. Okay, just gonna do this. We're gonna take the wire that we cut earlier, or as I said earlier, you can also just cut a new one, just enough to make it reach this again, and it looks like it still reaches that part. Okay, so okay, strip that. And then make sure your soldering iron is hot and ready to go again, and twisting these guys together. Alright, good enough. And maybe use another tool just to prop it up a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna go grab our soldering iron, and then we're gonna heat shrink wrap it. Some solder on those wires. You already did this earlier, so this shouldn't be a problem anymore. The process. And that should be it for our soldering iron. Where's my shrink wrap? Tug, make sure it's strong. Looks like it is. Well, let's just wrap it up now. Okay, another tug, make sure it's good. And looks like it's good. So now we're ready to put on the DuPont connector for this guy right here. So just grab another DuPont connector casing and another set. Strip a little bit. Okay, nice and stripped. and one housing. It's tug when it's strong. Okay, and that should be it. We should be ready to connect it to the PCB. So that'll be the next one. All right, so here's our RP2040 board ready to go, and now I'll be flashing on the screen the pinout that you're going to be using for each and every single one of these connections. So use that as reference. I'm also gonna link the image on the description below, so just open that one up, and yeah, we're gonna proceed with just wiring this in and connecting all the following the pinout on this image and connecting it to here. Okay, so first we're gonna be working on is the menu panel up here. So what I like to do is go start with the start button, and then we're just gonna proceed from there. I'm going to shut up at this point and I'm just going to put it on. Okay. Oh, and also one more note. You might be wondering what this the SS means on the bottom here. That is the screenshot key, so that will be for this this button right here. Okay, so that is your screenshot key, and then for the last one, the FN key is going to be this one right here, the very last one. So just grab that connection and put it on the corresponding slots for on the bottom of the PCB. Okay. Ground wire. Okay. And the next one that I like to work on next is going to be the directional buttons panel right here. Okay, so I'm connecting the ground wire on here as well. And then on the PCB itself, it's also written what connection is where. So this one right here, so make sure to just read that one out and connect it to the corresponding slots that it needs to be in. If you didn't use the PCB, tough luck, you can figure it out. You're smart enough, you got this. That's that for the for this side. Oh wait, no, I forgot the R1 and R2, which will probably these two as well. R1 or L1 and L2 buttons. Keep that in mind. Don't forget those two. L1 and L2. Okay. Cool. Now we go to this side right here for the buttons, for the face buttons. Oops. And then R2 and R1. And R2. Okay. And at this point, you're connected for the main first few buttons now. So this one I would recommend to connect the PCB to your PC and then just testing out the connections and make sure that everything is working out. So I'm going to be doing that on the background, and we're going to be skipping to the next part here. Okay. All right, so it's working and tested, or it's tested and working. Everything else is working. Alright, so I just tested and confirmed that everything is working. So now we're going to be doing some zip tying. So we're going to be organizing this a little better so that it's a little bit better to move around. Once we move on to wiring the joysticks, or connecting the joysticks to the PCB right here. So we're just going to grab a couple pieces of zip tie, and we're just going to be working on making this a little neater. So yeah. I'm just gonna do that. What I like to do is I like starting on this side right here, on the face button side, and just tying it and making sure that it's also going that way. Okay. So, okay. and then I like to go here on the menu wires, and just tying it right by the very first button there, right here. And zip tie on there. Then moving on and joining it together with this bunch of wire. Okay, let's grab that. Not gonna tighten it just yet because I want to put one more over here. And tighten this one. Alright, so the video kind of got cut off when I was doing the last few zip ties for this one, but basically, yeah, anyways, this is where you're gonna be ending up having. So just put some more put some more zip ties on here and then bunch them all together until you have something that looks like this, where it's all neat and arranged. So yeah, we're gonna be moving on to the next part now. Okay, so here we're gonna be grabbing the base again, and this time we're gonna be connecting these guys right here, the joysticks, onto the PCB. So to make things easier, I'm going to be flipping this over like so. Okay, and then grab the the RP2040 board, and I'm going to start with the let's see, on the diagram we're going to be starting on the ground wire just because it's on top. Okay, so we're going to grab the ground wire. So okay, it's this one. And we're gonna put it on pin number 3 here. Okay. And then we're gonna grab 3 volt, which is on pin number 5, I think. 5, yep. Number 5. Okay. There. And then next one is just right under that pin is vertical left stick. So it's going to be this left stick right here, and it's going to be the letter V on the wiring on the PCB there. So make sure you grab that V wire and putting it on. Next one right here, and next one is horizontal, which is this one labeled H on the PCB. Okay, and then we have the next one is vertical for it's gonna be this one, vertical for the right stick. So right stick and vertical wire. Okay, so grab that wire and put it on corresponding pin for it. Next is horizontal wire. Ooh, I made a mistake. Wait. Oh no, it's right. Okay, no, it's right. We're good. Okay, horizontal right here. And let's see, L3, which is labeled letter S on the PCB. So grab that. With that just means it's a switch. So we're just gonna put that on left stick or L3. Okay, and then right stick R3, which is second pin from the bottom. Okay. And with that connected, I would recommend that you do another test for the connections. So just connect the PCB, connect the RP2040 board to your PC, and make sure that the joysticks are working properly with all the axes turning, and the L3 and R3 also working. So I'm gonna do that. I recommend that you do that as well. Okay. Okay. So I just tested and confirmed that it's working. So we're going to be moving on to another run of cable management or wire management here. So we're just going to be zip tying this all together again so that the bottom wires, or the joystick wires, are neatly organized here. Okay. So I like to start right here and just work my way up. 3 should be enough for this. Okay, and 1 more. Okay. And I can cut the rest of the excess. Okay. Sweet. So that should be the look of what you're going to be ending up having. Okay. And we're going to be moving on to connecting this one to this. Okay. So for that, you're going to grab your 1-foot USB A to USB C connector, just a very short one that we had on the parts list there. Okay, and we're going to be connecting this PCB to this little guy right here, our main RP2040 board. Okay, so let's do this. Over. Okay, and then just connect it. Down here. Okay. Oh, also I forgot. We're gonna need some adhesive on this side right here, so we're gonna be using some 3M tape. So let me just cut that actually. Get another little strip of 3M tape. And then we're gonna stick it right on the back side here. So just cut that one shape. Or cut it the size I need. Okay. Should be good. Stick it right there. This one just refuses to let go. There you go. Okay, let's grab that, peel that off, and we're going to be sticking it onto this side right here. See this raised slot right here, right there? That's where we're going to be sticking it on, where the USB-C is pointing towards the PCBs, okay, towards the middle of the whole enclosure. Okay, so we're just gonna do that, put it in place, and slot it in there. Okay. Okay, good. Now that it's slotted in, we are ready to pretty much close this down. So, okay. So that's it. Next thing that we're going to do now is grab your screwdrivers and screws, your M3 screws. So here it is. And we're going to be closing this down. And to do that, we're going to be laying down the top panel on its face. And then we're going to be picking up this part right here. The bottom piece, or actually, oh, hold on. Let me just fix it because it's twisting, so just untwist that, put it back on again. come on. USBs, man. Refuses to connect properly. Okay, so there's that. And now you're just gonna drop it down. Make sure that these joiners right here lines up with these parts right here. Okay, and make sure to also keep on the lookout that none of the cables are getting squished down or getting pressed in between the screw pillars right there. So just gonna close that. Oh, what's this? Very little stuff right there. Okay, so now that that's closed, I'm just gonna press it down gently and make sure that everything is nice and flat. Okay, so and also keep a lookout on the wiring on the inside of the by the joysticks right there. Make sure that nothing is getting pressed down, and we're gonna flip it over. Okay, make sure that everything is being held down, and we're gonna be taking our screws and screwing all things together. Okay. Sorry, it's my car. Alright, and as you can see, I still haven't put on the other two screws on here, just because that is the one that is holding this in place. So this will be the one for the joysticks. And okay, there you have it. That's just adjust the light here. Okay, should be good. A little too dark there, actually. Let me bring that back. Okay, so now we are ready to put on the joysticks or the thumbsticks. Weird word to say for some reason. Whatever. Yeah, we're gonna grab our thumbsticks and we're gonna be putting it on to this one, and then we're gonna be closing everything down. Okay. All right. So here we have our white thumbsticks, and this is a thumbstick for the PS5 controller, and we're just gonna stick it in here. Okay, line it up and push it down. Make sure that you push it in all the way. Okay, and do the same thing for the right stick here. Okay, line it up and firmly push it down into place. Okay, that's good. And now we're gonna be taking our joystick panel, and we're just going to line it up, drop it in, and then screw it into place. Okay. That's it. Okay, and at this point, we're going to be doing another test and making sure that the connections are good. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so here we are on the controller testing website, and we're just going to pop it in again and make sure everything is working properly. So first time we pop it in, it's going to show up as a Xbox controller, so that's fine. So we're going to be testing it up. Oh, looks like we're on a different mode here. FN1. Okay, that's good. I kind of switched it out to the profile 2 by accident. So now we're on the profile 1. So up, down, left, right, L1, L2. So just on the way here. Okay, L1, L2, and R1, R2, triangle, cross, square, circle. So that's good. So start. Select this one. The Xbox mode doesn't have a screenshot button, so we're gonna switch out to the PS4 mode, which is holding circle and plugging it in. Oh wait, no, holding triangle and plug it in. Okay, let's wait it out a little bit. There it is. Okay, so screenshot and touchpad, and then FN plus start should be home, so this is gonna pop up Steam. It works, that's good. Okay, and let's try that again. Yep. Alright, so that confirms it works. Now we're just gonna be testing out, so we're gonna be going back to the Xbox mode again. And as you can see here, the Joysticks is not really reaching the full stroke of the joystick right there. So left and right is okay, up is fine, but the bottom one doesn't really reach. Same with the other one, it's only reaching 0.8. It needs to be reaching 1.0 for those axes. So I'm going to be showing you how to adjust that here. So for that, you're just going to be unplugging it and then holding start. Or wait, let's go to the oh wait, no, that's fine. So yeah, hold start and then plug it in so that we can access the configurator. And now we're just going to go to the GP2040 configurator. You should know how to do this by now, since we did the RP2040 setup. And now from here, we'll be going into add-ons, and we're going to be playing around this outer dead zone value right here. So right now we're just going to drop it down to okay, so analog, and then analog stick 1 outer dead zone value. We're going to drop this to maybe let's say 36. Okay, and then same with the analog stick 2, we're going to drop it down 36, and then we're going to scroll down to the bottom and save. Okay, now we're going to reboot into controller. Okay, then we're just going to go here to the gamepad tester again, and then we're going to see, does it reach? This side doesn't reach that much just yet, so I think we can just drop down a little bit further. This one is reaching at 90, this one is reaching at 0.997. It's almost there. We're just going to drop it down one more time a little bit. Okay, so unplug this, and then I'm going to hold start again. So hold start, and then plug it in to access the configurator. Okay, refresh this, and I'm just going to adjust this outer dead zone again. I'm going to drop that to maybe a 32. Fix the light here. Actually, no, let's do 34. Okay, and the other one for analog stick 2 is 34. Scroll down, save. Okay, and reboot into controller again. And we're gonna go back to the tester. Well, looks like that's the bottom where it bottoms out, so that's fine. I think we can go down to 32 here. because this one is just barely reaching the full stroke of it. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So let's do that again. Good exercise to do to get you used to adjusting this. Okay, let's go back to the configurator and put that on 32, and save. Okay, and we're gonna reboot into controller. And it reaches 99997. This might as well be 1, right? Okay. So yeah, we're good there. Nice and grumpy. Okay. Okay, and with that, everything is tested now, and now we can move on to the final step of this build, which is just putting on the grip tape on the bottom of the controller here. So I'm just gonna flip it over. And we're going to be putting it on. And so this is a grip tape right here that I punched out of just using like 1-inch punches, circle punches, and yeah, we're just going to stick it on these the bottom here. So yeah. So the spots that we're going to be putting it on is we're going to put it on here, 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 and here. So 6 in total. Okay. Okay, last one. And let's flip it over and just test it. Yep, looks good. And so, yeah, that's it. You have now successfully completed a Huntsman controller. Enjoy the new controller. Let me know what you guys think if you ever try it on your different games that you play. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can contact me on my Instagram, my Etsy, my Gumroad. My email is on there, so just shoot me a message if you guys got any questions. I'll try my best to answer whatever you guys need. And yeah, thank you for trusting me with your time and your effort, and spending the money for this build. It really means a lot to me that you guys still fuck with the stuff that I put out. And so yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.